The vessels, nerves of anterior-abdominal wall and rectus sheath formation. So, nerves of anterior-abdominal wall. Skin of the anterior-abdominal wall is innervated by ventral rami of lower 6 or 5 or 6 thoracic spinal nerves. They continue from the intercostal spaces into anterior abdominal wall. Anterolateral abdomen also receives nerve fibers from subcostal, iliohypogastric and ilioinguinal nerves. 7th and 8th intercostal nerves. 7th and 8th intercostal nerves divide into lateral and anterior cutaneous branches. Lateral branch divides into anterior and posterior branches, piercing the abdominal muscles in the mid-axial line to reach the skin. Anterior cutaneous of 7th and 8th. Anterior cutaneous branches pierce the rectus sheath laterally and emerge anteriorly to reach the skin. Enters the posterior surface of the rectus abdominis to continue in its sheath to reach and supply the skin. 9th to 11th intercostal nerves pierce the posterior layer of the internal oblique aponeurosis near its lateral border. Beyond this point, they travel in a similar manner to the 7th and 8th intercostal nerves. 9th intercostal nerve is much larger and is preserved in subcostal or coccus incision. The incision is usually done 1 inch below the costal arch in individuals with a wider infrasternal angle. 10th intercostal nerve. The downward and forward direction of the anterior branch of the intercostal nerves brings the 10th intercostal nerve close to the umbilicus. Intercostal nerve and its applied anatomy. The lower intercostal nerves may be entrapped as they pierce the rectus sheath and cause rectus abdominis syndrome. This is characterized by numbness and paresthesia in the median and the paramedian areas of the abdomen. Subcostal nerve. It is the ventral ramus of the 12th thoracic spinal nerve. It runs inferior to the corresponding rib. It passes posterior to the lateral arcuate ligament, kidney, and anterior to the quadratus lumborum. Subcostal nerve pierces the aponeurosis of the transverse abdominis and internal oblique and has a similar course similar to that of the lower intercostal nerves. After crossing the iliac crest immediately posterior to the anterior superior iliac spine, the subcostal nerve supplies the pyramidalis via the medial branch and the anterior gluteal skin via lateral branch. Thoracoabdominal nerves. The thoracoabdominal nerves convey sensation to the costal pleura, peripheral diaphragmatic pleura. Pleural inflammation can produce pain in the abdominal wall. Appendicitis induced pain and rigidity are due to sympathetic innervation of the abdominal wall. Tuberculosis affecting the lower 5 vertebrae can also produce pain referred to the anteabdominal wall. Shingles of the lower ganglia of the thoracic spinal nerves produce diffuse pain and vesicular eruptions in the anterolateral abdominal wall. Referred abdominal pain may also occur as a result of subluxation of the interchondral, a joint that entraps the intercostal nerves. Thoracoabdominal nerves that supplies the abdominal muscles form an extensive communication network that allows considerable overlap. This type of overlap is responsible for limited or complete lack of perceptible clinical deficits upon damage to one or two nerves. In contrast, the segmental innervation to the rectus abdominis has no or very little cross-linkage. So, individual nerve damage associated with rectus abdominis is likely to produce deficits in the affected area. Iliohypogastric nerve, it courses posterior to the psoas major, exists its lateral border. Near the iliac crest, it pierces and provides innervation to the transverse abdominis and internal oblique muscles and splits into lateral and anterior branches. Iliohypogastric nerve, lateral branch distributes cutaneous branches to the gluteal region. Anterior branch pierces the internal and external oblique above the superficial inguinal ring to supply suprapubic region. When McBurney's incision is employed, the iliohypogastric nerve is preserved and is usually isolated from the adjacent structures. Ilioinguinal nerve. It enters inguinal canal by piercing the internal oblique. It descends inferior and lateral to the spermatic cord in the male and round ligament of uterus in female. It emerges via the superficial inguinal ring and provides sensory fibers to the anterior part of the external genitalia and motor fibers to the lower part of internal oblique and transverse abdominis muscles. Genitofemoral nerve, its root value is L1 and L2, pierces the psoas major muscle and emerges on the anterior surface of that muscle. It descends posterior to the ureter, gonadal vessels, divides anterior to the lower third of psoas major into femoral and genital branches. In the male, the genital branch enters the deep inguinal ring, innervates the cremastic muscle emerging from the superficial inguinal ring to supply the scrotum. In the female, it follows a similar course and distributes sensory fibers to the skin of the major labium. Femoral branch passes posterior to inguinal ligament to provide sensory fibers to the upper middle part of the femoral triangle. Blood supply of the anterior abdominal wall. Blood supply. The abdominal wall receives blood supply through the branches of femoral, external iliac, subclavian, intercostal arteries and abdominal aorta. And their branches are: superficial epigastric artery is a branch of femoral artery. It anastomoses with inferior epigastric artery. Superficial circumflex iliac artery arises from femoral artery. It courses towards the anterior superior iliac spine. It anastomoses with the deep circumflex iliac, lateral femoral circumflex iliac and superior gluteal arteries. Superficial external pudendal artery branches off from the femoral artery. It travels across the spermatic cord or the round ligament to supply lower anterior wall of abdomen. Deep circumflex iliac artery originates from the external iliac artery. It anastomoses with the iliolumbar, superior gluteal, lumbar and inferior epigastric arteries. Superior epigastric artery, one of the terminal branches of the internal thoracic artery. It arises at the level of the sixth costal cartilage. It continues into subcostal triangle of Moragagni. It is a gap between the costal and sternal attachments of the diaphragm. Superior epigastric artery enters the posterior layer of the rectus sheath. It establishes linkage with inferior epigastric artery and with the hepatic arteries through the falciform ligament. Arterial anastomosis between the superior epigastric and inferior epigastric arteries provide important collateral circulation to the lower part of the body in individuals with post-ductal coarctation of aorta. Inferior epigastric artery is a branch of axillary iliac artery. It ascends along the medial margin of the deep inguinal vein. Arterial anastomosis between inferior and superior epigastric arteries and posterior intercostal arteries at the upper abdomen allows collateral circulation to develop with internal thoracic artery. Inferior epigastric artery ascends under the parietal peritoneum as a lateral umbilical fold. Cremastic branch supplies cremastic muscle and other coverings of the spermatic cord as well as the testis through its anastomosis with the testicular artery. In the female, it provides blood supply to the round ligament. The lower 2 or 3 posterior intercostal arteries enter the rectus sheath from its lateral border and anastomose with the superior and inferior epigastric arteries. Subcostal artery courses inferior to the last rib, anterior to the 12th thoracic vertebra. It descends into posterior abdominal wall, posterior to the lateral ligament, lateral arcuate ligament, accompanied by corresponding vein and nerve. Subcostal artery establishes anastomosis with lower posterior intercostal, superior epigastric and lumbar arteries. Musculophrenic artery, a terminal branch of the internal thoracic artery. It runs inferiorly posterior to the 7 to 9 costal cartilages and arises and gives rise to 2 anterior intercostal arteries to the corresponding intercostal space. It anastomoses with deep circumflex iliac and the lower 2 posterior intercostal arteries. Lumbar arteries arise from abdominal aorta, anterior and to the left of the lumbar vertebrae. On the right side, they travel posterior to inferior vena cava. Lumbar arteries anastomoses with iliolumbar, subcostal, deep circumflex, inferior epigastric and lower posterior intercostal arteries. Venous drainage. The anteabdominal wall is drained via superficial epigastric vein, drains the inferior part of the anteabdominal wall and is connected to the paraumbilical and thoracoepigastric veins. Superficial epigastric vein. This vessel drains via the great saphenous vein into the femoral. It also drains into the portal vein through paraumbilical veins. Through this venous linkage to the inferior vena cava and the portal vein, a portocaval anastomosis is established. Occlusion of the portal vein may activate this collateral venous circulation, producing distension of the paraumbilical veins. Thoracoepigastric vein drains the middle portion of anterior abdomen, connects superficial epigastric and superficial circumflex iliac veins to the lateral thoracic vein. Lateral thoracic vein joins the axillary. Great saphenous vein joins the femoral vein. Venous drain of the anterior abdomen. Through these elaborate venous connections, the lateral thoracic vein forms a venous link with the cava-caval anastomosis. Occlusion of the inferior vena cava is most likely to activate this collateral venous circulation, producing dilatation of thoracoepigastric, lateral thoracic and the tributaries of the superficial circumflex iliac and superficial epigastric veins. Paraumbilical veins are relatively small veins that drain the periumbilical region into the portal vein and into the portal vein. They are involved in the formation of portocaval anastomosis via their connections to the superficial epigastric vein. Dilatation of these veins produce caput medusae after the Greek mythological character whose head was covered with multitude of snakes, referring to radial pattern of varicose paraumbilical veins around the umbilicus. Superficial circumflex vein drains superficial structures in the lower anterior abdominal wall and the proximal region of the superficial thigh. It is connected to lateral thoracic vein that drains into superior vena cava via the thoracoepigastric vein. The venous connection may also show dilatation in caval obstruction. Coming to the formation of rectus sheath and its contents. Rectus sheath is a long fibrous sheath which encloses rectus abdominis and pyramidalis muscle. It contains the anterior rami of lower 6 thoracic nerves, superior and inferior epigastric vessels, and lymph vessels. It is formed mainly by the aponeurosis of the 3 lateral abdominal muscle. For description purpose, it is considered 3 levels. One above the costal margin. The anterior wall of the sheath is formed by the aponeurosis of external oblique. Posterior wall is formed by the thoracic wall consisting of 5th, 6th, 7th costal cartilages and intercostal spaces. Complete part. The aponeurosis of the internal oblique splits to enclose the rectus abdominis muscle between the costal margin and up to the level of anterior superior iliac spine. External oblique aponeurosis is in front of the muscle and transverse abdominis is behind the muscle. Lower part. Between the levels of anterior superior iliac spine and the pubis, the aponeurosis of all the 3 muscles form anterior layer. Posterior wall is absent. The rectus sheath lies in contact with the fascia of transversalis. The posterior wall of the rectus sheath is not attached to the rectus abdominis muscle. Anterior layer is firmly attached to it by the muscle's tendinous intersections. Rectus sheath rectus sheath is separated from its fellow on the opposite side by a fibrous band called as linea alba. It extends from xiphoid process to the pubic symphysis. Thank you.